And there's 3 different secreting organs: liver, spleen, and kidney. So that variety is really great. And this is really great because it's all whole foods. So there's no synthetic man-made nutrients. Everything is whole foods. So that's really great. This one is also high protein and high fat. Again, that higher fat might be more appropriate for kittens, and the carbohydrates are around 1%. So that's really great. That's what you want to aim for. Very low carb. Hey friends, it's Jess Jericho, and the first freeze-dried raw kitten food that we'll review is called Instinct. This one's specifically for kittens, and the product name is Chicken Recipe. That word recipe means there's between 25 and 94.9% chicken. So when we look at the ingredients, we have chicken, including ground chicken bone, beef liver, beef spleen, beef kidney, cod, and salmon oil. I think those are the meat ingredients there. So we have chicken as the muscle meat and ground bone, which is great. And there's 3 different secreting organs: liver, spleen, and kidney. So that variety is really great. And there's also protein variety with chicken and beef. That's always good. Variety can curb pickiness, and it can also provide extra nutrients to kind of fill in the gaps of the diet. Salmon oil is great. Instead of just saying fish oil, they're specific. They tell you the type of fish. Then you'll also see ground flaxseed and some carrots, apples, butternut squash, blueberries, spinach. So at least they're adding some whole food nutrients. Of course, cats wouldn't eat carrots and apples in the wild, but they would consume the stomach contents of their herbivore prey, which would include some plant material. So typically you'll see these additions in cat foods to add some phytonutrients and add a little bit of fiber that they wouldn't necessarily get from secreting organs and muscle meat. But because of the recipe rule, we know that the chicken is 25 to 94.9%, and they're not naming like chicken and apple recipe or chicken and squash recipe. It's just chicken recipe. That's what you want to see, is meat only in the product's name. They also state the dry matter percent of the protein, which is 41%. That's great. Total fat is 29.79, almost 30. And that's great too. Kittens might require a little bit higher fat because they're growing, so that's really great. And then they also tell us the carbohydrate calorie percent is 11% here. So that's good. It's low. So, you shouldn't really be concerned about the carrots and apples and butternut squash because they're very minimal amounts of this product. This video is not sponsored, but there are affiliate links in the description. Some cons might be that they still have to add back some of these synthetic minerals and vitamins, but, to be complete and balanced and to meet the kitten's needs, it's typically required. Let me know in the comments below if this is better or worse than what your kitten's currently eating. The next freeze-dried raw cat food that we'll review is called Quest. This is Steve's Real Food. Now, this is suitable for all life stages, so it's appropriate for adult cats and kittens. And I specifically chose beef because it has a higher percentage fat compared to the other products that he makes. And the ingredients are super great. We have ground beef, beef heart, beef kidney, beef liver. So we have 2 secreting organs plus hearts. It has 1 less secreting organ than the previous product that we looked at, but this one also includes heart. And it also includes ground beef bone, raw goat's milk. That's great for probiotics and enzymes, and also can provide some minerals. Flaxseed and inulin are fibers. Dried kelp is great. That provides a lot of minerals as well. And kelp can also help keep plaque and tartar off of the teeth, especially if you're feeding kittens. This is great to start your dental care routine the earliest that you can. Chia seeds for fatty acids and some fiber, organic coconut oil, and ground eggshell. Eggshell can add some more calcium and other minerals as well. And this is really great because it's all whole foods. So there's no synthetic man-made nutrients. Everything is whole foods. So that's really great. And when we use the guaranteed analysis to get an approximate amount of carbs, it's about 3% on a dry matter basis. Those are always approximate because the guaranteed analysis doesn't guarantee that it's 13% protein. It guarantees that the minimum is 13% protein. It could be higher. Same with the fat is provided on a minimum. It could be higher. Fiber and moisture is provided on a maximum, so it could be lower than that. So when we use the guaranteed analysis, it's always approximate. You don't know for sure unless you contact the company. Give me a polydactyl thumbs up if this is helpful so far so that more kitten parents like you can see this video. Thanks so much. The next freeze-dried raw cat food that's also suitable for kittens that we'll review is by Northwest Naturals. This is duck recipe, so we have the same product name there, meat only in the product name. We have the ingredients duck with bone, duck heart, duck liver. So this one has fewer secreting organs, but it does include meat and bone, including heart and at least liver, so that's great. And then salmon oil, so they're specific about the fish oil, which is also excellent. This one also adds dulse powder and kelp. kelp. I personally give kelp to Jericho, as I mentioned before, to help prevent plaque and tartar. And dulse is an algae. I also give spirulina and other algae to Jericho just because they provide like a really large array of vitamins and minerals. And if you think about it, in the wild, cats would drink from lakes and fresh water, so they would consume a little bit of algae in their diet. So it's a great whole food supplement. You don't need a lot of it. It's a great way to add whole foods with a large amount of nutrients to the diet. Psyllium husk powder, they typically add for a little bit of fiber, and same with flaxseed. And inulin is a prebiotic fiber. And then there's a handful of these added vitamins and minerals, but it's really not that much. So I don't think that that's too much of a con, but if you are looking for 100% whole foods, then the previous brand, Steve's, would be better for you. This one is also high protein and high fat. Again, that higher fat might be more appropriate for kittens, and the carbohydrates are around 1%. So that's really great. That's what you want to aim for. Very low carb, and majority of it is from meat. The next freeze-dried raw cat food that's appropriate for kittens is Feline Natural, and I'm choosing their beef and hoki feast because this one has higher fat than the previous products, but it still also has higher protein. And this product name Feast also fits under the same recipe rule. So with this one, we have beef and hoki. So that 25 to 94.9% would be beef and hoki combined. But at least beef and hoki are both meat-based ingredients. Instead of saying beef and rice or beef and potato, we want to see meat only named in the product. So for the ingredients, we have beef heart, hoki beef, beef kidney, beef liver, beef blood, New Zealand green mussel. That's great. A lot of meat variety there. We have beef and hoki and New Zealand green mussel. And we also have the two muscle meats, heart and just beef, and then liver, which is a secreting organ. And beef blood is great because taurine is water soluble, and B vitamins and a few other nutrients are water soluble. It's going to leak out into that blood and myoglobin. So it's great that they include it that way, that your cat's getting all of those essential nutrients. And when you look at the typical analysis on a dry matter basis for beef and hoki, it's less than 1% carbs on a dry matter basis. So that's great. But a con could be that they still have to add back a handful of synthetic nutrients. They also include kelp, which is great. As I mentioned before, kelp is a great superfood. So again, if you're looking for 100% whole food, then Steve's would be the brand for you. And you can check out my transition guide right over 𝐉𝐄𝐄 to get your kitten onto his new freeze-dried cat food. Thanks for watching.